The cost of gas is expected to rise again at midnight following a week of new records at the pumps. But with no end in sight to rising gas prices, a group of Hamiltonians gathered at City Hall saying this is the perfect time for Canada to make a just transition away from fossil fuels and towards clean energy. Emily Taylor tells us more.
$1.67 per litre. That was the average price of the pumps across the GTHA today. That's over 20 cents lower than this week's staggering new record of $1.91. And many Hamiltonians took advantage of the temporary dip.
I drove by, was 168. I came by, was 167, pulled in.
I do kind of dread the day that my employer asked me to come back into work because I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford gas to drive that far.
And if you think these prices are shocking, experts are warning of another 5-cent increase at midnight, putting us back over $1.70 across the GTHA on average. So today might be the day to fill up that tank. Soaring gas prices have some drivers rethinking their ride.
Crazy gas prices, but of course I can fill it up every night at home on electric, and usually that's pretty good for me. Like I can go back and forth to work on electric. I think that's the way we're going, and I think we have to be respectful of our climate and our planet and do the best we can.
Others aren't ready to make the switch just yet.
I actually am considering one, but it won't be for a few years. It's because of commitments with my current vehicle.
I'm riding it out, no electric vehicle for me. No. I'm spoiled, I love this car. It just rides so nice.
It would be really nice if we had some more government support for buying our EV vehicles like they do in the US, but I think that we'll wake up at some point and go that route.
With the price of gas leading some drivers to find alternative ways to get around, Hamilton's environmental groups say this is the perfect time for Canada to step up its commitment to green energy.
We have a government that says that it wants to deal with the climate crisis. And if we're going to deal with the climate crisis, the biggest source of climate emissions, carbon emissions in Canada, is the extraction and processing of fossil fuels.
More than 100 people gathered in front of Hamilton City Hall this afternoon to demand a just transition away from fossil fuels across the country. For the Hamilton 350 Committee and other groups at the rally, that means support for fossil fuel workers and support for Canadians struggling to manage the higher prices at the pumps. The interim leader of the Green Party is calling for the introduction of a federal living wage, among other policies.
Instead of allowing that transition to be messy for everybody and more expensive, we just support people to get through it. So if things are more expensive for a bit, provide them the funding to be able to pay for it. And I promise that that will be cheaper than having to deal with the resulting impacts afterwards.
Nicole, experts are warning that we're going to be seeing even higher prices at the pumps. Tomorrow we're looking at $1.75 a litre, and by next month we could even see $2 a litre.